Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're pulling out our crystal ball and taking a deep dive into the future. Specifically, what will the global economy look like in 2026? It sounds far off, but it's just around the corner. The world has been through a whirlwind of changes recently. A global pandemic, supply chain chaos, geopolitical shifts, and rapid technological advancements. All these factors are brewing a very interesting and complex economic future. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's explore the key trends, challenges, and opportunities that will define the world's economy in 2026. First up, let's talk about the big picture, global growth. After the turbulence of the early 2020s, most economists are cautiously optimistic about a period of stabilization and moderate growth by 2026. We're likely to see a multi-speed recovery. What does that mean? It means different parts of the world will be growing at very different paces. Emerging markets and developing economies, particularly in Asia, are expected to be the main engines of global growth. Countries like India, Indonesia, and Vietnam are poised to continue their upward trajectory, powered by young populations, increasing domestic consumption, and growing integration into global supply chains. In contrast, advanced economies like the United States, the Eurozone, and Japan will likely experience more modest, steady growth. They're facing different challenges: aging populations, high levels of public debt accumulated during the pandemic, and the difficult transition away from fossil fuels. For these nations, the focus in 2026 will be less on explosive growth and more on resilience, productivity, and managing inflation, which has been a persistent headache. The central banks have been walking a tightrope, trying to cool down inflation without triggering a deep recession. By 2026, we'll have a clearer picture of how successful they've been. The hope is for a soft landing, where inflation returns to target levels without causing widespread job losses. Now, let's zoom in on one of the most transformative forces of our time: technology. By 2026, the impact of artificial intelligence will be undeniable and widespread. We're not just talking about chatbots or virtual assistants anymore. AI will be deeply embedded in business operations across all sectors, from manufacturing and logistics to healthcare and finance. This will supercharge productivity. Imagine factories where AI optimizes every step of the production line in real time, or healthcare systems, where AI helps doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately. These aren't science fiction scenarios for 2036. They are the realities of 2026. This AI revolution will create a massive demand for new skills. Jobs in data science, AI, ethics, machine learning, engineering, and prompt engineering will be booming. At the same time, it will automate many routine tasks, which raises important questions about the future of work. Governments and businesses will need to invest heavily in reskilling and upskilling programs to help the workforce adapt. The gig economy will also continue to evolve, with more people working as freelancers or on short-term contracts, facilitated by digital platforms. This offers flexibility but also brings challenges related to job security and benefits. In 2026, the debate around how to create a fair and robust social safety net for this new way of working will be front and center. Another huge topic for 2026 is the green transition. The climate crisis is no longer a distant threat. It's a present reality, and the economic imperative to act is stronger than ever. By 2026, we will see a massive acceleration in investment in renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and green hydrogen. The electric vehicle market will have moved from a niche to the mainstream in many parts of the world, with charging infrastructure becoming much more common. This transition isn't just about being environmentally friendly. It's one of the biggest economic opportunities of the 21st century. It's creating entirely new industries and millions of jobs in areas like battery manufacturing, grid modernization, and sustainable agriculture. However, this transition is also incredibly complex and expensive. We'll see a lot of debate around greenflation, which is the potential for the prices of key minerals and materials needed for green tech, like lithium and cobalt, to spike due to soaring demand. We'll also see a growing focus on the circular economy, the idea of designing products to be reused, repaired, and recycled, minimizing waste. Companies that embrace sustainability won't just be doing good. They'll have a significant competitive advantage. Consumers, especially younger generations, are increasingly demanding it. Let's shift gears and talk about global trade and supply chains. The pandemic and geopolitical tensions taught us a painful lesson about the fragility of our just-in-time global supply chains. In response, by 2026, the buzzword will be resilience. Companies are moving away from relying on a single country or region for their manufacturing. We're seeing a trend towards friendshoring or near, where companies move production to politically aligned or geographically closer countries. This doesn't mean globalization is dead, but it's changing its shape. It's becoming more regional and more fragmented. This shift will create new manufacturing hubs around the world. Countries like Mexico, Poland, and parts of Southeast Asia stand to benefit as they become attractive alternatives for companies looking to diversify their operations away from traditional centers. This reorganization will also be heavily influenced by technology. Think 3D printing, which allows for localized, on-demand manufacturing, and advanced robotics, which can make production in higher-wage countries more cost. So, in 2026, your smartphone might have components from a wider variety of countries, all tracked and managed by sophisticated AI-powered logistics systems. Of course, we can't talk about the global economy without mentioning geopolitics. The relationship between the world's major powers, particularly the US and China, will continue to be a defining feature of the economic landscape in 2026. The strategic competition between them extends across technology, trade, and influence. This has led to trade tariffs, export controls on sensitive technologies, and a race for dominance in areas like semiconductors and AI. For businesses, this creates uncertainty. They have to navigate a complex web of regulations and political risks. A key question for 2026 will be whether this competition can be managed without spilling over into broader conflict, and whether there are still areas where cooperation, like on climate change, is possible. This dynamic will force many countries and companies to make difficult choices, trying not to get caught in the middle. Let's also touch upon the world of finance. Digital currencies will be a much bigger part of the conversation in 2026. We're not just talking about cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. We're talking about central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Many governments around the world, from China with its digital yuan to the European Central Bank, are actively exploring or piloting their own digital versions of their currency. By 2026, some of these might be fully launched and in use. This could revolutionize payments, making them faster and cheaper, especially for cross-border transactions. But it also raises huge questions about privacy, financial stability, and the role of commercial banks. The financial landscape of 2026 will be a hybrid of traditional systems and these new digital innovations. Finally, what are the biggest risks on the horizon for 2026? A major one is debt. Governments, corporations, and households all took on massive amounts of debt to get through the pandemic. With higher interest rates, servicing that debt becomes more expensive, which could strain public finances and even lead to debt crises in some vulnerable countries. Another risk is growing inequality. While technology and globalization create immense wealth, there's a danger that the benefits are not shared broadly enough. The gap between the rich and the poor, both within and between countries, could widen, leading to social and political instability. And we can't ignore unpredictable shocks. Whether it's another health crisis, a major climate-related disaster, or an unforeseen geopolitical conflict, the global economy will need to be prepared for the unexpected. Building resilience will be the name of the game. So, to sum it all up, the global economy of 2026 will be a fascinating mix of old and new. It'll be an economy in transition, moving past the crises of the early 2020s, but still grappling with their aftershocks. It'll be defined by a multi-speed recovery, with emerging markets in the lead. It will be supercharged by AI and the green energy revolution, which are creating huge opportunities, but also significant disruptions. And it will navigate a complex world of reshaped supply chains and ongoing geopolitical competition. It's a future filled with challenges, for sure, but also with incredible potential for innovation and progress. The key will be our ability to adapt, to invest in people and technology, and to work together to build a more resilient and sustainable global economy. What do you think? What are your predictions for 2026? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think the biggest trends or challenges will be. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this analysis interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the future of our world. See you in the next one.